course on communication skill, right? Second class. Why do you want to attend a communication skill class? To communicate effectively. You think after 5 classes you will be a good communicator? You will learn the skill of communication. What do you expect from these 5 classes? Ways to communicate. You will learn the theory of communication. What is your expectation? These 5 classes, somehow more you can learn. So what is that 5 days will give you? Improve your language in 5 days. Which language? Mother tongue or other tongue? Both. No chance. This is not language teaching class. That's in the next building, the other part of the campus. They teach you language, but here we teach communication skill. What is the difference? There is another course on confidence building. You attend that. Mind management, mind control. There is another course. Expressing views. If you have language, will it not give you? Body language. Dance class is better. Because yesterday's class was body language, and now you think that communication skills means body language. Improve. How? How do you improve your communication skills? You will see some good communicators in front of you. Any performance skill is essential for performance. There are 2 types of knowledge. One is theoretical, that's education. A good B.Tech fellow will get sufficient knowledge on electrical engineering, but you ask him to change a switchboard, he will say no, he won't touch. A good mechanical engineer will not know how to repair a scooter. Education have got 2 parts, one theoretical and another one is practical. That's called a skill. That's why communication skill. Skill is how to practically apply. You will learn language, a good MA English or MA Telugu or not required. If your mother tongue is Telugu, you know every word. But you will not be able to express your ideas. And even though you tell something, the other person will not be able to understand what you are trying to tell them. They should understand the same. You may tell something, he will understand something else. Happens most of the time. So your skill of communication is very, very important. Language is one part, it's a theoretical part. And another part is applying that, that's what skill. So any performance requires ability, both theoretical and applied, and you need opportunities. Any performance, not necessarily language and communication. Anything you want to perform, you may have ability, but if you don't have a chance in life, you will not be able to perform. People get chance, but people don't use it. People are ashamed of using chances, get scared of using chances. So for that, maybe confidence building, mindset, mind management, personality development, such courses will help you. How to use your opportunities well. There are plenty of opportunities, but people don't use it. How many of you have email? And how many of you use email? Many of you. But most of the courses, what happens is, I know 80% of you have. 100 people in this class have. Most of the time at the end of the class I will give my email address. But I have seen hardly 10 people, 20 people respond. They don't even write. What do we expect when we give an email address to you? We spend 1 hour for you in the class. Okay? And then what we expect is not just blah blah about the class. To say critically, this is what I like, this is what I did not like. I agree with you on this count. I don't agree with you on this count. This course helped me like this. This course was so useless. Anything you can write, which will help us to improve. So that we will know this is what you are looking for. Because I cannot ask individually what is that you are looking for me. We get something and then try to put on. Therefore the communication becomes useless. You understood what I am trying to say? I guess at your age, talking to somebody on the road, understanding your requirement from the office, talking to some people here and there, maybe 10% of the people will send some email, from that I collect some information. And then whatever knowledge I have, I will try to match, and then whatever I can deliver, I will deliver. You will just hear from there and then leave it there. After the class finished, nothing is there. 1 hour, when you sit 1 hour also, I am sure 1 hour you are not concentrating. As Shankara says, if I am a good communicator, 100% perfect communicator, probably I will be able to attract you. If I have good charisma, probably you will look at me for a long time. If I am able to reach into your heart, probably you will accept me for some time. If I have got good intellect and your intellect matches with me, then probably you will accept me. Otherwise, you will listen. No, you don't listen. You will hear and don't listen. You know the difference? You will hear and don't listen. This is the first lesson in communication. People will hear, but they don't listen. Every teacher knows this. I was also a teacher to teachers. I was a director for academic staff college last year. So my job was teaching teachers. So every teacher invariably in the class will ask, please listen, please listen. They will beg to the listeners, to the students. Because the teacher knows that you are not listening. The teacher knows that when he talked about Tolstoy, you think about Cherichi. So the class is not effective. Why does it happen? Because the teachers are not able to reach into your heart. Or your heart is not given to the teachers. Your heart is somewhere else. Your brain is here. You will process it. How do you process? At the end of the class, somebody will come and tell me, sir, there was one grammar mistake in the class. So the first thinking process becomes analyzing, finding some problem somewhere, some difficulty. You are good, but your pronunciation is not very good. How can the pronunciation be good? I am not an English man. And English is not my mother tongue, it's the other tongue. My mother tongue is Malayalam. So it will not be Tanglish also, it will be Manglish. Telugu mixed will become Tanglish. Or Tamil mixed will become Tanglish. And Manglish. So it does happen. So people start analyzing, people start criticizing, people start judging, people start comparing. Now some of you will be thinking, yesterday somebody told something, but today this man is telling something else. Is it both communication skill or something different? Automatically human brain, you will forget all the classes. Yesterday after the class you never thought about that. But once you are here back again, instead of attending this class, you will start attending the other class and then thinking of this class. And after the class you will think, oh, I have wasted my time. This happens because the mind is not in control. As Shankara says, the mind is either convex or concave. It's not a plain mirror. It will start concentrating in some place and it will forget all the other part. Or it will just be a convex. Then what will happen? Whatever comes will get diverged. Nothing will get into the mirror. Therefore, mind has to be darpana samanam. Then you will start reflecting. And you should be like a cow in communication or classes at least. not while communicating. In the classes, you have no time to respond. You have no time to chew. You have no time to digest properly. So just take it inside. And then after some time, take it out and then try to digest. In a class, a lot of ideas will come. If your brain is habituated to accepting a lot of ideas, then you will be able to capture everything. But if you have no habit of sitting in such classes, many things will go off the head. And you will not remember things. Because in brain, we don't use nearly, it depends on people to people, but generally people don't use more than 30 to 40%. The number of words which you gather also matters. By age of 6, a good communication will give nearly 6,000 words. And at the age of 18, another 12 years, people will get another 6,000 words. That means up to 18 years, you may have some 12,000, 15,000 words. If you are a good communicator, probably you can increase it maybe another few thousands. But until your death, you will collect another 6,000 words, not more than that. So the maximum words you can collect during the younger age. And if you don't collect it, that much space in your brain will go wasted. Neurons will not act. So just by heart some songs, by heart something, whatever you like. You just by heart many things. And at younger age, people will be able to by heart much more than at older age. That's because their brains have free space for words. So learning language is essential so that you can communicate. And listening is very important without interpreting. A small kid understands, but not in the style what the elders understand. But they understand something. But the words are kept inside. If they start criticizing, analyzing, understanding every word by word, they will not have time to learn the words. You will listen to nice Hindi songs, not even understanding the varied meaning of them, but it will help you later. You can take those words back and start analyzing, first by heart it. The kids will understand, just by heart slokas, without understanding. But some people at the end of the life also, they don't understand. Doesn't matter. They will chant nicely without understanding. But still they will be having good brain. You see the priest on the temples, Ekajame, Trishyashtame, Panchajame, Saptajame, Navajame, Ekajame. They don't understand what does it mean. And God also does not understand, they also does not understand. Because they did not learn mathematics. These are mathematics, nothing else. Ekachame 1, Trishyashtame 3, Panchajame 5. It is arithmetic progression. Some God does not like arithmetic progression, then geometric progression will be told. Ekamcha, dashamcha, shatamcha, sahasramcha, ayudamcha, prayudamcha, niyudamcha, vayudamcha, up to 10 power 53. 1, 10, 100, 1000, etc., etc. All these words, nobody will understand. Vayudam means what? You ask a priest. Prayudam, they don't know. Ekam, Dasham, they will understand. Shatam, Sahasram, Ayudam, Vayudam, Prayudam, 10 power 3, 10 power 4, 10 power 5, etc., etc. Up to 10 power 53 they will chant. All the words are inside. Meaning is not understood. No problem. Later somebody can teach them the meaning. But if you don't by heart, at the age of 60, give this to by heart, it will not be there. So first, keep the words inside. By heart them. Very essential. Those people who will just chant lot of slokas, either music, cinema slokas, and all that are good people, the first lesson of communication skill is over. Where to use and how to use, we will think later. First, you should have sufficient words in you. Good words, not bad words. If you have bad words, everywhere bad words only will come. So what you have inside only can be used by communicating. If you have good words, then good words will come out. If you have bad words will come out. Therefore, keeping words is important. Yesterday you learned about non-verbal communication. Your actions are important, because when you use words, if you don't show good actions, the effect will be very less. But only when you are seeing, you are personally seeing them. But not all communications are personally communicated. It can be through email, it can be through letters, it can be in absentia, it can be without even words. Just feelings will get communicated. So much will get communicated, and whenever you are in person, verbal communication have got a lot of importance. So language have got a lot of importance. And clean language, good language, and good creativity is essential. If you don't have creativity, you will have a lot of language, but you will not be able to tell. A simple exercise which generally I give, I am not trying to give it today because time is very less. You have a pen with you. How many of you can talk about a pen for half an hour? Raise your hands. You are using pen for last so many years, right? A simple pen. How many of you can talk about a pen for half an hour? No. How many of you can talk about a pen for 10 minutes? I will bargain. No. 2 minutes. Only one person. Very bad. Out of 120, only one person. No, you can. Why? I am sure you know about the pen. But when I say talk about the pen, you are worried whether I will catch you and put you here to talk to you. You can discuss with your friend on pen for hours together, right? You can talk about the pen at your home. You can talk to your friends, relatives. You can talk to yourself about the pen for a long time. But you don't have courage to come onto the stage and then talk. So this problem is there. Forget about that. Now how many of you can talk to your friend about the pen? Not in front of me, somewhere else. Okay. Don't worry. Raise your hands full. Now you see so many hands came. Fine. I am sure if I ask you, you will not think on the terms which I am trying to dictate you now. I am sure. Because I have done this exercise in many places. You will talk about the beauty of the pen or use of pen and will end up there. Nothing next step. If you want to talk about an item, what do you do is draw a circle in your book first. If you have a book, draw a circle in your book. All of you draw a circle in your book. If you have a book. And like an LKG student make a sun. How do you make sun? Drawing a lot of rays around that, right now? Okay? And now inside that circle you write pen, P-E-N, pen. Now you write inside your heart. Okay? Now each arrow, each ray, one major aspect of pen you write. What could be major aspect? Use. Don't say writing. Use of pen. So one arrow will become use. What is the other use of pen? For throwing. The use of pen is writing only, right? No? You can also use it to scratch the back. So multiple variety of applications could be there. Other applications also you can write, no problem. Somebody will use it for cleaning the ears, cleaning nose. Okay, as a paperweight also people will use, right now? When you have to keep a paper. So applications, other applications. Did you think about this? When I asked you to talk about the pen, did you think these lines? No. So 3-4 varieties, just like that, off the head. Now you tell me some more applications or some more things about a pen. Types of pen. Next, so one arrow can be types. Next. Color. Okay, next. Types is over, color is over. Sizes of pen. Yeah, you have small pen and big pen. Next. Shape, variety, that means technology which is used. manufacturing, pen as a product, quality of pen. You have 0.3 mm gel ink, different varieties. That's what technology means. And you have thickness of pen, not the size but the thickness, 0.3 mm, 0.5 mm. Okay, and on which media you are writing? On paper it is different, on transparency it is different, on glass it is different. Okay, you have got silver colored pens, glittering pens. Then history of pen. When you write about the pen, the first thing what you should write is history of pen, right? No? People started using some metallic, sharp needle sort of thing to write on leaves, etc., etc. So this is what you should start writing about pen, which you must have never thought about, no? Okay? So you will write thinking about the history of pen. Let it be a talk, let it be an article, anything you wanted to write. You should not end up in one angle. You should end up in every aspect. How do you reach into different aspects? Draw a circle, make it a sun, and then center you write what is the subject, then start thinking variety of things. Pen as a hobby, pen as a gift, pen as a weapon. So many things you can write. Okay? Pen is mightier than sword. So write. Pen as a creative job. When you want to write poem, when you want to write something, if you don't have pen, finished. Now no problem, you have SMS. Okay, so you write about everything around the pen. Now how many of you can talk about pen for more than half an hour? I'm sure the number increased. Why? Just because on a topic when we talk, we don't think around that. We will just think like a donkey. Only in one direction. Never try to do that. Anything in life, if you want to look at it broad-minded. Open up and then look in variety of things. Don't see from one side. Try to see from different side. Okay? Anything. If you want to explain what this room is, people will start talking about there are a lot of people around. There is a lecture, that's all finished. You don't talk about many other things. You should talk about variety of things around. So think on anything in life, what you see, what do you do when you travel? Wasting time. Just take a subject, think about it creatively. Okay? On anything in the topic, don't get into one concentrated idea, get into variety of idea. That's what is called creativity. So people are creative only by practice. If you don't become creative, then you cannot communicate. Your communication will be over. 1 minute, pen, finished. Why? You have language, you know, but you never practiced. Now what you can do? Think about any activity, any idea, anything around the world in a different style, different angle. Then you can talk about any topic, any number of hours. Even on communication skill, you can take classes. Right? Because you attend many classes and all of them are different and ideas are different, and you can pick up each one of them and then give a lot of classes. The whole day communication courses I give, in which a lot of variety of activities like the one which I give, pick up people and then start talking about that. Sometimes if you have ideas, if you don't have language, you have problem. Sometimes you have language, no idea, it's a problem. So communication skill is good only when you have both. Language doesn't mean you can talk on the stage. Okay, it could be article writing or it could be talking to your friend. But generally, communication doesn't mean talking to your friend, talking at home with your colleagues or friends or relatives. It doesn't mean that. What is that called? Interaction. Interaction doesn't mean communication. There is something very close to communication, conversation. Right? So conversation is quite possible and all of us are good. But what is the difference between conversation and communication? Is it a conversation? Yes, I am trying to make it as a conversation. But what I am supposed to do is a communication. I am taking feedback from you, talking to you, right? I am taking response from you. Without that also I can give the class. But if I just do that, then the class will not become communication, it will become conversation. What is that I am trying to do? What will happen in just a conversation? Assume that you wanted to talk about a pen. Your friend must be ready to listen. But he has no interest in listening about a pen. He has got interest in listening about a mobile phone. What will happen? You will start, he will not respond, and then what you will do? You will change the topic. Or he will change the topic. Or what you will do? You will stop the conversation there, you will go somewhere else and then talk about the pen again. But in communication classes we cannot do that. I cannot go and have a cup of tea and come back and then again take the class. In a given time frame, in a structured fashion, I must deliver you something, and after the class, you must be able to give a title for my class. Even though I have no title in the beginning, at the end of the class, you must be able to give a title. For every communication, there is a title. Conversation have no title. You may go into blah 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 for 3 hours, and you will think, what is that we spoke? Nothing, only gas. Correct, no? That becomes conversation. You cannot call it as communication. Communication has something to give, and communication has something to receive. It's very, very important. There has to be a subject that has to be concentrated on that. You must have a title to minimum. In normal terms, what I can say, after a class, you must know what does it mean. You will see some political speakers. Nice talk, wonderful, nice to listen, but at the end you will wonder what is that he was telling. No context, right? So that cannot be called as a communication at all, because it should have got a meaning, it has got a target, it should mean something to people who are listening. Otherwise it becomes waste. So conversation have to be distinguished from communication. But conversation every one of us can. But communication we are not very good. So what is to be done? The strength which you have in conversation and the format in communication have to be merged together. Take your ability in the conversation, put it in the format of communication, you will become wonderful. That is the easiest skill. How do you get that? That's the... You will automatically discuss with somebody. Assume that you wanted to talk about a pen. What will happen? You will talk to your friend and he will add so many points. And at the end you will know all these points which you have written must have covered. But you cannot do it if you want to write an article, if you want to talk. You have to create it inside you. So the best communication or maximum communication in the world happens between whom to whom. Somebody said it louder. Self. So who talks to you maximum? Who talks to you maximum? Yourself. Tell louder, no problem. So you talk to you maximum. 99.99% of the communication is between you and you. And what do you communicate to you? Ask yourself. Who communicates to you first in the morning? Let me start from there. Forget about whatever happens till today night. Go to sleep. At sleep, your Atma will communicate to you. Forget about that also. Either a good dream or bad dream, something you will go on tell. Don't worry about all that. But what if the first sound comes to your ear? Pardon? Louder. Louder. Tell me the answer, please. Who communicates to you first in the morning? Milkman. Okay, wonderful. Paper boy. Alarm. So verbal, non-verbal. Alarm is non-verbal communication. First non-verbal. Pardon? Birds. Done. You are all in India, right? No doubt. Okay. We have a belief that morning there is a time of creativity. People call it as God of creation, but I call it as God of creativity. Brahma Muhurtam, you heard this? The fixed time. It's not fixed time, 2 hours prior to the sunrise. We will hear, we will listen sound only after that. Before that, very rarely we will know. If the milk boy comes at 1 o'clock night, you will never know. There are many sounds around, you will not even know, because you are in deep sleep, supposed to be in deep sleep, unless you are doing so much crimes in the daytime. If you do so much mistakes, then night you will not get sleep, then you will listen every sound. If you are waiting for police call, you will listen that, okay? But otherwise, if you are calm, cool, normal person, you will sleep peacefully, then Brahma Muhurtam, the time who calls you first. You are listening to milk boy alarm just because you are already awakened. If you are in deep sleep, you will not listen. So whom? Your Atma, or that can be the Brahma. Brahma is your Atma. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir. That means you are giving food to your own Brahma. Your own Atma is inside. Your own judge is inside. And he will call you in the early morning. But assume it's an external or internal God. With that concept, with that sankalpa, let him call you. Morning he will call me Shashikumar. My name is Shashikumar. He will call me Shashikumar. I will say Poda. I don't care him. That's what all of us does, right now? The first communication comes to us from God himself. And we don't even care the God. And whole day we start calling God. And God will not care us. The first communication comes from God himself. And if you don't listen to God, then it's a big mistake. So as soon as you wake up, get up. As soon as you wake up, don't go back to sleep. That's what people do. Morning when we wake up, if you are in right turn, you will take a left turn and sleep well. And after some time, if the mother calls, you will pull your bed sheet and then sleep again. If father calls, you will jump out. If brother or sister calls, the leg will recur. Good communication, non-verbal will come. So we react in our life entirely different in different situations. We cannot hit the God, therefore we will not respond. If we have a chance, we will kill Brahma also. Don't call me now, come later. But he has to go attend somewhere else. So he keeps on moving and calling people, but we don't listen. The first creativity call will come in the early morning. You will become so creative if you wake up in the early morning. By that time we are in Tushni Bhavam. That's called the Tushni Bhavam. Just you don't sleep, but you will see the whole world is awakening. Milk boy is active, paper boy is active, mother is active, next door is getting opened, everybody is working. So wonderful, I am peacefully sleeping. When everybody else works, we don't work, we are very happy, right now? So cruel. So never do that. The first creativity should come in the early morning. And then the first communication should get into your heart. Then you will become so creative, so active. A reading book becomes creative activity. Not a passive reading. Becomes so active and creative. The class becomes so active and creative when you have expectations. If you don't have expectations, if you are not hungry when you eat, you will not get the taste. If you are hungry when you eat, you will get the taste. When you read a book, the communication, the author is communicating to you. It means a communication to you only when you are eager to listen. If you are not eager to listen, the book becomes so boring. I started the class by asking what is that you expect. If I don't ask that question, at least a few of you will just listen, but you don't know what for this class. So what is essentially required? If you want to be a good listener, first set your goal. When you sit in the class, let it be electrical engineering or English, whatever subject. My subject is mathematics. I am a department of space scientist. Image processing is my subject. When we sit in the class or when we teach in the class, I must know what is that I am communicating to you. Let it be a mathematics theorem. People should know what is that they expect after this, what do I gain. When you read a book, when you read a newspaper, you should know what is that I am going to get out of this. Just like that, if you spend time, you will not be enjoying the communication. So read the book as the author is communicating to you. Read Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is asking question. Where is Arjuna? I become Arjuna for some time. When I am asking to Krishna, he is outside. I will ask this question to him. And then I will take the role of Krishna. Arjuna is this side. I will answer him. So we take the role. And then what will happen? As if I am telling, the Krishna will tell. Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha, Arjuna will ask. How a Sthita Prajnasya will talk, communicate. That's what Arjuna asks. But Krishna answers, Dukkesha nudiktamana, Sugeshu vikadaspraha, etc., etc. If you just read this, if you don't see what is that Arjuna asked, what is the answer Krishna gave, you think that the answer is not to the question, something else he said. Really something else only he told that. Arjuna did not get the direct answer, he got an indirect answer. So what will happen? If you don't have the eagerness to understand, you will just read this, at the end also you will not understand anything. The question is also not in your mind, answer is also not in your mind. While reading, you close your book and ask yourself, what is that I am reading? You may not know sometimes, most of the time. Why? Because when you read, many people, I am a psychotherapist. I do psychotherapy and counseling. Many students will come and say, I have no concentration. What happens when you open the book? Mind goes in different places. Wonderful. Your mind is working. If it is not working, it will not go anywhere. It's a good sign. You are not able to get concentration. How many of you will get 100% concentration in reading? How many of you can read for 1 hour continuously with full concentration? 1 great fellow, 2 fellows, 3, 4. Very rare. Unbelievable. Continuously 1 hour. 20 minutes with the full concentration. Wonderful. Little bit. Now many people, whenever democracy, many people are voting, you should also vote. How many of you can see a cinema for 3 hours continuously with the full concentration? All. No doubt on that. I have not seen a single fellow throwing the ticket and telling that I am not able to concentrate. Therefore I am going out of cinema theatre. Have you seen anybody? You may say cinema is bad. You may say cinema is bad, therefore I am going out. But you will never say I am not able to concentrate. Why? Every lip movement is by heart. Why lip? Body whole movement is by heart for you. Because you have Shraddha. How do you understand whether you have Shraddha or not? Soon after, assume 2 of you are watching the movie inside theatre or at home. As soon as the movie is over, when you go out, you will start discussing about the movie only. Why? Because you carry movie along with you in your heart for some time at least, right? When you read a book, will you talk to somebody about, oh, this book is so wonderful, this chapter is very good, electrical engineering is a vast, very wonderful subject, You have not seen people talking like this. Complex analysis is a very good topic, algebra is wonderful. Nobody talks about it. Why? Because it does not go to heart. People will say you by heart, but you are not by hearting. You are by braining. It is not going to heart. It goes only to brain. You will just mug up, then vomit it out in the paper, and then comes out peacefully. Every communication becomes like this. 1,000 times you take oath that all Indians are my brothers and sisters. Right? How many times you must have taken oath that all Indians are my brothers and sisters? When you walk on the road, MG road, when you see somebody, do you feel, oh, this is my brother, this is my sister? What stupid communication we do to ourselves. Right? They are not Pakistanis, they are not Afghanis, they are Indians. But you don't feel. Why? Because you have not by hearted. The communication did not get into your heart. You may take 1,000 times oath, but it does not reach into your heart. Whatever is there in your heart will come out. Whatever is not there in your heart will never come out. All communication should come from heart. Don't think that the heart, which heart? The heart surgery. Then all communication he will take it out. If you keep everything, there is a nice poem in Malayalam where the patient asked the doctor, don't do an open heart surgery because I have kept lot of secrets in my heart. You are going to see that. That heart is different. So we will call it as manas. Okay? Mind, manas. So your communication comes from manas. Most of the Sanskrit word does not have a translation in English. Creates a lot of problems. So let us not translate. So the manas is required for communicating. Every action is through manas, mind. Not this buddhi. People when they say mind, they will take it as buddhi. Distinguish these things differently. Okay? Manas, it comes from manas, not from buddhi. The buddhi will tell you something, but don't listen to that. It creates a lot of problems. Your manas will ask you to do something. Your buddhi will say, don't do this. The big communication creates a lot of contradiction. Nice mirchi bhaji, manas will tell, eat this, and buddhi will say, don't eat. It creates stomach problem. You see how much communication will happen? You want to touch somewhere, manas will say touch, buddhi will say don't touch. You want to telephone to somebody, manas will say telephone, buddhi will say not now, later. Because buddhi and manas will start coming. To whom? To you. Who is this you? It is the self, Atma, Chitta, Chaitanyam, Prana and Tejas. He is the judge. After doing the same, Tejas will tell you, the Prana will tell you, you should not have done this. Right? No? Many times we do something and lot of communication will happen. Why did I do this? I should not have done this. The whole day, morning till evening, assume you did something, the mother scolds you. Till night, until you get a better scolding, your mind will start communicating to you. You have done a mistake, you have done a mistake. Unnecessary, right? Lot of communication, 95% of the communication happens to you, and out of which 100% of the communication is useless communication. Non-creative communication. But assume you can make your communication so creative, you will become so creative in your life. So why you don't have communication skill? If at all, you have little bit because you have utilized it in wise style. Better style. If you don't use your communication in a better style, you will waste your time in your life. Most of the time you start communicating to yourself unnecessary, without a topic, without a subject, just keep on rubbing on the same place. And ultimately at the end of the day you think, oh, I have wasted this day. Nothing I learned. Every communication should have a topic, it should teach you something, and you will never learn anything. In that bus, when you travel in your life, the whole life you will spend a lot of time in traveling, sitting idle, seeing TV, reading book but not understanding anything. But try to make it a useful, understanding, learning problem in life. Every moment should be learning. When you sit here, you must be able to learn something. When you go out, you must be able to learn something. Lot of communication should happen internally so that you will start thinking wise, thinking better. Then what will happen? You will have lot of ideas. Whenever something has to be discussed, automatically you will be able to do that. Try to learn lot of language. Your dictionary should be very good. Vocabulary should be very good. Grammar should be very good. Practice it well. Create lot of ideas, mix them together, you will become a good communicator. Learning should become just a practice. All tenses. Language is very important. All the tenses, present, past, future. There are 4 varieties again, right? What is that? Simple past. You must come, that should come, not necessarily in English. English is very essential. Language in English is very essential. Because wherever you are going, if you cannot have a good English, you are going to be in trouble. And with good grammar, it is very, very essential. Given a verb, you must be able to put them into 12 tenses. I take, I am taking, I have taken, I have been taking, I took, I was taking, I have taken, I have been taking, I shall take, I shall be taking, I shall have taken, I shall have been taking. All the 12 tenses should come just like this. Given any verb, you must be able to put them into sequence like this. Very, very essential. Grammar is very essential. Vocabulary is very good. Then your pronunciation could change. Depends on which person to person, where you are using, that could change. Creativity is very essential so that you will get lot of ideas. Mix them together, you will become wonderful. And with whom you are living, that matters a lot. If you don't have good opportunity, I said you have good skill. Good education, good skill. To perform well, what is essentially required? Good opportunity. But assume that you are in Europe. English is very bad in Europe. Okay? Then what will happen? After few months you will lose your English. Because your English will go. You should learn German. If you don't learn German, you will have a problem. So, if you don't have opportunity, you will lose your skill after some time. So, opportunity is essential to perform. If you get into bad group of people, whatever words comes out of you will become very bad. So, your culture, your character, all determined by with whom you are discussing. Assume that you have a bad company who uses all bad words every day. What will happen? That only will come. Whatever is there in your mind only will come out. Therefore, what should happen? Your mind should be very clean. How do you clean your mind? Take a little bit of vim powder and sometimes clean it. Clean mind. How do you clean? It's called the saptashuddhi. Vak, word come from manas. Vak, mana, chakshu. It comes from the eye. Because the mind gets a lot of information from eye. Chakshu srotra grana jihvaredo buddhi agrati sankalpame shuddhyandam. The words which comes from the mind gets words through eyes, ears, nose, all the indriyas. So indriyas have to be clean. Don't put eye drops and clean your ear. That will not help you. You will see so many things but accept only good things. You will hear many things, accept only good things. So today going back home, doing some mischief, assume your father or brother or elder, somebody scolds you. What will happen? He got sufficient scolding from his parents, so he kept lot of scolding words in his mind, so he dumps on you. And then what you will do? You will keep it so that you can scold somebody else tomorrow. Assume one generation the scolding stops. What will happen? You will never know bad words in your life. So when somebody scolds, it is not that you are bad. The person who is scolding is very bad. So you should wonder, oh, this man has kept a lot of bad words in him, so poor fellow. When your father has become so bad fellow, keeping a lot of bad words in him. So you must sympathize with the people who are scolding. Many people will use bad words and then take it as a credit. When somebody uses bad words, that means he is keeping bad words in him. Never try to keep bad words. Don't listen to bad words. Don't give your ear to bad words. Don't think on bad things for a long time. Clean your mind. Then your communication will become very perfect. Okay? And perceive things in the way somebody wanted you to perceive. Don't try to interpret an entirely different style. Whatever somebody says, you must have a clean mind to accept it as it is. If your internal communication is not perfect, you will always look at things in suspicion. You will always interpret it highly negatively. So don't do that. Have an open mind to accept things. Whenever you feel like communicating to somebody, communicate with full courage. You will learn lot of subjects. When I travel at different places, I will talk to people every day. So much knowledge you will get. You just talk to people. You will learn lot of things. Like today I was talking to somebody. I was on email to somebody. So somebody was working in media. You understand what is media? So then I asked which media you are working. Then she wrote me back both under and over line. I did not understand that. under and overline. Then I wrote her back, what does it mean? I can keep quiet and then, oh fine, wonderful, I can say like this. But I will never learn. So what did I do? I asked her, what is this underline overline means? Overline means the TV and broadcasting such things. Underline means working on a project inside the office. Writing articles means it's an underline. Overline means you are broadcasting yourself. It's a new terminology, new knowledge for me. So I said it's a new knowledge for me, thank you for this. If you don't talk to people, I will not learn this today. Whatever I learned just few hours back only I am telling you. So how do we learn? When you talk to people, you will learn a lot. When you communicate to people, you will learn a lot. My professor used to tell, if you don't know music, talk about the music, then somebody will tell you, this is not music, then ask him what is music, he will tell you what is music, so you will learn music. Understood? So try to learn from people and try to accept as they are telling. Don't try to interpret differently. A perceiver, a listener will perceive the way the perceiver like to perceive and not the way the speaker wants the perceiver to perceive. That's the biggest problem people have. You will start interpreting different styles. That's what I started telling that you will start interpreting, you will start criticizing, you will start comparing, you will start judging, but you will not listen. Don't try to do that. With an open ear, listen. Get into your heart. Understand it perfectly inside. Then you will learn. If you start judging, if you want to ask some question, you keep it in mind and you don't listen anything, at the end you will wonder what is that he told. And by this time already the answer must have been told, but you did not listen. Okay, this is what happens. So the time is up, but my class does not end with asking questions. Either to you or you back to me. So you can ask me a few questions. If I can answer that, I'll be